Hello, welcome to this mono delays tutorial. If you find this useful, please visit resistthesilence.com for more tutorials and recording stuff and whatnot. This is my first tutorial in a while, and I'm gonna try not to say 1,000 times, but when there's like a transition and an awkward space and I feel like I'm just talking to myself, I tend to say so I apologize in advance, and hopefully the audio and whatnot's all in sync, because I've had some problems with my system. I just did it already. All right, awesome. So what we're gonna do here is, what we got here is just a super basic guitar track that I cut up for the purpose of this tutorial, and it's just 4 chords over and over, single hits. Drums, we've got, so the tempo is like 180, I believe. Yeah, 180 BPM, and you know, it's just hitting once every bar. So what I want to show you is basically how to do some unique, fun little things with delays, and it's more of how they used to do delays in the old days before there was any Pro Tools. They would send the delay back through the channel, and you may have heard of people talking about this before and not really understood it, so that's what I want to show you how to do. They would send the delay back through the channel, and the channel itself would filter it out. It would then be getting sent back from that signal that much more times in sort of like a loop, but every time it would be more and more filtered and more EQ'd, because it would be like multiplying upon itself. I don't know how to explain it well, so I'm just going to show you. Let me play back the sound so you can hear it. It's super simple, just drums I was messing around with and some guitar. Haven't really done much with processing. Okay, so super boring. We want to make it more interesting, so we're going to go ahead and open up a mono aux input and throw some, we'll just open up the basic delay, the Digi Design extra long delay to keep it in mono, and then we'll pan it all the way left so you can hear it clearly. And I've already got a bus set. I'll just open it up brand new. So we just send it to a bus. Obviously, we set the input of the bus to wherever we're going to send it to, right? So we then have to send some actual signal. Let's just set it around right there just for sake of the tutorial. It might be a little bit loud, I don't know. You know what, I need to set this to my Fireface that I'm using. Don't worry about that if it confuses you. Okay, so right now it's not set, the tempo meter is not set. I think it's playing whole notes, so basically every time the guitar hits, it's not delaying till the next guitar hit. Obviously that's gonna sound terrible, so let's set something there. Okay, so if you look at it, what we just set, oh, this might be out of the screen's view. Okay, so what we set is a whole note delay. So when the guitar hits, it sends it to the delay on a whole note, which will be the next measure, right? So 4 beats per. So it's sending it after 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, which will be bar 10. 3 and 1, 2. I'm trying to count. I'm failing. Yeah, I'm counting too slow. This is 180. This is a pretty fast tempo. So anyway, so you can hear what's happening there, right? So let's make it a little bit faster. We'll go to a half note delay. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. No, just look at the damn counter. I'm struggling. Okay, you hear it there. So it's super basic. Not very interesting. So what we want to do is we want to send it back to itself. Okay, so what we could do is just use the feedback knob here, right? Which, here's how that sounds. Every time the delay hits, it's then sending itself, it's feeding itself back into itself and delaying. That's what causes the delay. All that's happening is there's a slight volume reduction with each delay. Okay, so that, it sounds okay like that, you know, but what I want to show you is how to do it manually. So we're going to take this feedback back down to 0%, and we're going to send the signal, the output signal of the channel, back to itself. Not the output signal itself. We're going to send a copy of the signal back to itself so that it feeds back. Watch. You can hear yourself feeding back. You have to be careful, by the way. You can easily overload your channel if you set the feedback too high. Hear how it's doing the feedback now? Okay, so we're basically doing the exact same thing as what I just showed you at a different volume. But what we can do is, and why we're not going to use the feedback percentage, is because this just feeds itself back into the plugin itself. It doesn't send it back to the channel. Because it sends it, we have it now set back to set it so it feeds back to the channel by using this bus send here. What we can do is we can filter it out with every hit of the delay, which basically it'll make it it'll do that whole multiplying of the character of the sound over and over again with each delay hit. So I'm not making much sense, so I'm just going to show you. We're going to set this high pass filter here. I'm using filter bank. You can use anything you want. I usually set the high pass filter around 12 dB. If you're new to audio recording and mixing, high pass filter, it allows the highs to pass through. That's why it's called a high pass filter. Low pass filter, it would allow the lows to pass through, and then it would filter out the highs, right? So high pass filter filters out the lows, allows the highs to pass through. If people are talking about rolling off the low end or the high end, what they're talking about is a gradual increase or decrease of the sound. Think of like a rolling hill, right? It's not, you wouldn't die if you rolled down the hill, okay? So it's a gradual incline or decline of the filter. Hopefully that helps. Anyways, sorry for the rambling. Okay, we're gonna go to set it generally about 1.5. We can boost it. We'll set at 3, and then we'll just set like 4 or so. We'll just set some gain at 3. Maybe do a Q, bump that up. You can use any plugin you want, any filtering plugin. You can use graphical or just, normal. Doesn't matter. Here's how it sounds. Okay, so you hear with every single delay hit, it's being filtered out, and then as it's feeding itself back, it's then being filtered out more, and it's also boosting at 1.5 by 3 dB and at 4 by 3 dB every single time it hits. That's what causes that, the kind of like airiness to continually happen, and it's chaining on itself. So it's kind of cool. But the big thing is, and I'm gonna have to split this into 2 different tutorials, but basically the big thing is that you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. So hopefully you'll be able to find like some inspiration or generate some ideas here. You don't have to use just a filter. You can use a flanger. You can use, any plugin you want. There's a ton of different ideas, a ton of different things you can do with it. So let's say we switch this to flanger. Sounds pretty cool now, right? It's because with every hit, it's now flanging itself that much more. And you can also do things like you can sync the tempo, so it's all happening within like a bar or whatever. There's a ton of different things you can do with it. So I'd like to show you with the next tutorial how to do some ping pong delay stuff, and I'll give you some other ideas. So yeah, go check out resistsilence.com if you found this informative, and check out the second part of this tutorial. And yep, talk to you then. Bye bye now.